Hey, what's up, Cowboys fans? It's time for me to do my pre-draft video. I'm not going to be doing like a mock draft or anything. I'm just going to be going over our needs for this year and, particularly on defense and maybe some on offense as well, and what I think should be our plan in this draft. If you look at all the mock drafts that have been on various websites, ESPN, DallasCowboy.com, all the sports blogs like the Landry Hat, or NFL, on NFL Network, they had one where they picked, I think it was Maurice Jones-Drew, and he had us picking Charleston or Carlton or whatever. But so yeah, all the vast majority of all the mock drafts have Dallas picking a defensive player for the first round, our first pick, which obviously that's more than likely where we're going to be going anyway, which is what we need. So I would say that it's really like a 50-50 between pass rusher, particularly an end, and a DB, corner or safety. So yeah, I'm going to be perfectly happy with either or at those two positions on defense. It really comes down to who's going to be there. If we'll see if anybody's going to fall. Any of the quality players that's going to be high on our draft board, we'll see if they will fall to the overall pick of 28, and we'll see if we draft them or not. I'm not sure, but we'll see. I think that it's basically just the best player. You don't want to get into, let's just draft a defensive end to draft a defensive end, and then we've had that problem in the past, and you get guys like Shante Carver and Ebenezer Ekubon and even Greg Ellis when you should have gotten Randy Moss. So it's all about the top quality player that's on your draft board, then pick that guy, which, again, it will be a defensive player. We're not going to go, we're not going to get off. I highly doubt we're going to get anybody offensively. That was kind of last year's draft with Dak and Zeke. So this year's draft, it's going to be defensive. And again, whichever, if the defensive end is highest on your board, if you find one of the top prospects that falls to 28, then you get the defensive end. If it's a DB, then you get the DB. So that's really how it's going to come down to it. And it's going to be interesting. And I just really hope that whoever this guy is, our first pick on defense, I just really hope that it's somebody, whether it's an end or a DB, I just really hope that it is somebody that can make an impact right off the bat. If it's a defensive end, you want him to, the very first week, knock the hell out of Eli Manning and Aaron Rodgers and all the other quarterbacks we play against, because that's what we really need, is to get to those quarterbacks that have really can beat us and have beaten us in the past. That's a big thing. And then if it's a defensive end, or if it's a DB, a corner or a safety, we really need to find one that can, get to the ball. Morris Claiborne was a bit of a, not a bust, but he was a bit of a disappointment. Brandon Carr was worse. So I really want it to be, hopefully a shutdown corner type of player to where he can break up passes, stop the receiver, bump and run, can tackle, of course, and the most important thing, get pick sixes, or just at the very least have good hands to get some turnovers, because that's what we really, really need to have a dominant defense. Because if we have a defense that creates turnovers, or at the very least does 3-and-out stops and that sort of thing, then it's just perfect for our offense, because our offense, we know we can score with Dak being back there, always making smart decisions. Zeke is Zeke, of course, and a great receiving core with Dez and Beasley and T. Willie, and then, of course, Jason Witten. So that's the most important thing, is to get sacks and to get turnovers on defense. I mean, that's, if your defense can do that, then boom. I mean, there's that's what we need, and we haven't had that in a very long time, and that's what we're hoping for, because everything on offense is fine, with the exception of, right tackle, where Doug Freed played. So, I mean, I think we can groom a new right tackle either through undrafted free agency or whatever. And I think it's very possible because, we've done that before, but it just, I don't know. But offensive linemen, it might be late in the later rounds. It could be, I don't know about a second round, but could be up to maybe a fourth round pick. If there's a really good offensive lineman, offensive tackle there, then it would definitely be something to look at. But there's so second round, again, same thing. I think if we get a corner in the first round, then in the second round get a defensive lineman. If we get a defensive end, then we'll get a defense. We'll just keep going back and forth, I guess. And then of course there's linebacker. There's that's it really. And then nose tackle. Interior lineman, and so really that I want to just get anybody on defense really. That's where we need to load up because last year was mostly offense. This year we just need to stock up on defense. We didn't really get. I mean, we got a couple of guys in the free agency, but nothing spectacular. So those are more just depth guys or backup guys. But you never know. They could come out and play well for us. I hope so. So yeah, basically it's just the main thing is just draft young, solid players for the defense and just hope and pray that they could be impact players day one. Oh, Jalen Smith, that might be another guy that can come back. I think they said that he should be able to be healthy enough to start training camp. So that's going to be interesting to see how he can make a difference, hopefully. And so again, defense really offensively. Again, somebody to replace Doug Free because that was really the crack in our Great Wall was Doug Free. So everybody else is very young on our offensive line, so it would be great to get another young guy in there that can do a real good job there. And we still have the best offensive line anyway. But and then the only other thing I would say, and you can get this from a DB, is we really need a new kickoff returner, return specialist, punt returner, all of that. I don't know if it'll be with a DB or we'll get it with a wide receiver either in the later rounds or in the undrafted free agency. But that's something we definitely need is a kickoff return specialist. So I guess that kind of counts as offense. So that's another need. But offensively, pretty much, I know some people have said tight end since Jason Witten's getting older, so maybe tight end. But the primary focus will be on the defense. So that's, basically where it'll go. So we'll see if it's, again, I won't be disappointed either or with an end or a DB. Just whoever's highest on the board, I'll be, when draft day comes, I'll have my laptop and my phone going on and the TV and I'll have all the different shows on at the same time and, I'll get feedback. I don't think Shango's, unfortunately, is not going to do his this year, but mostly everybody else's feedback, they'll say, oh yeah, this is a good guy, good pick for the Cowboys and blah, blah, blah. So, I'm looking forward to it. It should be interesting. This is the first draft that's held outdoors in Philly this year at a museum or something like that. I thought, when I heard it was outdoors, I thought it'd be in the Lincoln Financials, but no, it's like in some sort of museum or something. And it's the first draft that's outdoors, so should be interesting. And so again, defense. That's the focus, and then all the other stuff we can focus on in the later rounds. And of course, you can find a lot of hidden gems in the undrafted free agency. You never know. So yeah. So anyway, the draft coming up, and I'm excited. So yeah, basically that's it for this week, and then of course I'll do my post-draft video either on later on Thursday night or Friday sometime, and go over who we did pick. And also, I'm going to do a video of Madden. I've been playing Madden, and I have several, because it's not, what I'm kind of disappointed about with Madden is that they don't give you classic teams like they used to. Or like in the NBA games, you get like the 90s Bulls, you get the 80s Celtics and Lakers, you get the early 2000 Lakers, you get the 70s Lakers, you get, all the like championship teams you get on the NBA 2K games, but on Madden, you don't get, I've always wanted to be able to play like the classic teams. And they had them back in the 90s, but now it's just sort of, you have the same old game modes, you know. So, you can get the classic teams through Xbox Live through the community create, kind of like with the WWE. It's called community files or whatever, and they have all the created custom files, and they have the rosters. They have several. There's about 3 of them. One of them is classic teams, which is like all Super Bowl teams. So for us, it's the 90s. They have, I think the other one's like the 80s Niners, 85 Bears, 1990 Bills, I think 2007 Patriots, and, you know, stuff like that. The 98 Vikings, 96 Packers. So yeah, you know, pretty much mostly all Super Bowl winning teams or teams that were good enough to go to this. I think with the Chargers, it's the 94 Chargers. So that's really cool. So it's really fun to put, and also the 70 Steelers. So it's really fun to put, I've always, because that's what I love about playing Madden is doing the Legends teams and seeing who would win, like the 85 Bears against the 70 Steelers, or the 80s Niners against the 90s Cowboys, or the, you know, all the teams, you know, the 2003 Bucks against the 85 Bears, or the 2000 Ravens, or all of that. It's just a lot of fun. And so yeah, there's that one, and then there's the all-time rosters, which is just, you know, like for us it'd be Staubach and Aikman, Tony Dorsett and Emmett, you know, like just all the Hall of Fame players on one team. So that's a lot of fun. And then what I'm doing personally, and I'll show you guys in my next video, when I'll probably record it on my phone and just show you my TV screen so you can see what I'm talking about. The roster that I'm doing personally is the 1994 season, redoing it, pretending that I'm Jimmy Johnson. So if you guys want to download it, if you have Xbox Live, you can download it as well. And it's just, I want to replay the 1994 season and pretending that I'm Jimmy Johnson and that we're going to redo this and do the three-peat how it should have been. So those rosters are almost, like, I would say 95% done. I just got to work on a couple more teams, but the vast majority of them are done. Cowboys, Niners, Packers, all the teams that made the playoffs. Even the Browns made the playoffs that year under Belichick, who was the coach at the time. So yeah, it's really cool. And so I have that almost done, and when it is done, I will upload it in the community creations. And if you have Xbox Live, you can download it and play it along. And I'll also show you the other rosters that other people have made, what I just mentioned, the Super Bowl teams and then the all-time rosters. So it's a lot of fun. It's just something to play around with during the off season, just to kind of, you know, kill time before the real season starts or the next Madden game comes out. So it's a lot of fun. I just love it. It's great, and it's as accurate as you can possibly get. With the Cowboys, the only change, since I'm pretending that I'm Jimmy Johnson, was instead of drafting Shante Carver, I drafted Henry Ford, who was a defensive end. He went to the Oilers. He played there for almost about 10 years, Oilers/Titans. And I think he would have been a lot better than Shante Carver because he wasn't a bust. And so I have him on there, so that's different. But we got Larry Allen and everybody's on there. So yeah, it's great. We'll see what happens, and I'll start that season and, you know, kind of be like our N-if-al, you know, well, what if, you know, Jimmy Johnson had stayed kind of thing. So, yeah, so it's great. So anyway, so I'll do that later, and then the next video I do will be the post-draft video. So yeah, that's it. It's going to be a great week. Really interesting to see what's going to happen. Again, defense. Got to build that defense, and then I think we're going to have one hell of a team. And by the way, we're not going to go fucking 8-8. That pissed me off that they said that we're going to go 8-8 again. That's such bullshit. But oh, fuck them. I mean, anyway, we're gonna have a great. As long as we get a defense, we're gonna have a great team for a long time. But anyway, that's all for tonight. See you guys after the draft. Go Cowboys, and peace out.